Photosynthesis, the first life process, nutrition. The process of taking in food and utilization of that food to produce energy is known as nutrition. As we all know, living organisms require energy. Energy is essential for all the metabolic activities which are occurring in a living organism. जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि न्यूट्रिशन फूड को ऑब्टेन करना है और उस फूड से एनर्जी का प्रोडक्शन है. एनर्जी क्यों चाहिए एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म को? ताकि वो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म अपनी सारी मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज को परफॉर्म कर सके. नाउ द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक व्हिच वी हैव टू डिस्कस इन दिस इज टाइप्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन. There are two types of nutrition. The first is autotrophic mode of nutrition. If we divide this term into two words, those two words are auto plus trophic. Auto means self and trophic means mode of nutrition, or simply nutrition you can say. So if we combine these two forms, then the mode of nutrition in which an organism can make or can synthesize, can prepare its own food is known as autotrophic mode of nutrition. तो बच्चों ये एक ऐसा मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन है जिसमें एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपना फूड खुद ऑब्टेन करता है, या हम ये कहें खुद बनाता है बाय सिंपल इनऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल, दैट इज नोन एज autotrophic mode of nutrition. There are two different types of this mode of nutrition. The first one is chemoautotropism, and the second one is photoautotropism. In this, there's a word that is chemo, that means chemicals. And in this, the word photo is added to the term, then the photo means light. So, the autotrophic mode of nutrition, in which an organism can synthesize its own food by the help of chemicals, and the autotrophic mode of nutrition, or the mode of nutrition in which an organism can synthesize its own food by the help of light energy. That's the basic difference. तो बच्चों जो basic difference है इस दो टाइप के autotropism में, वो क्या है? कीमोऑटोट्रोपिज्म में एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपना फूड खुद बनाता है बाय द हेल्प ऑफ केमिकल्स, और फोटोऑटोट्रोपिज्म में एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपना फूड खुद बनाता है बाय द हेल्प ऑफ लाइट, और यू कैन से सोलर एनर्जी. द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ कीमोट्रोपिज्म हमने 9th क्लास में इनको स्टडी किया था, एंड दोस एग्जांपल्स वर मोनिडल्स बेसिकली. द किंगडम मोनिडा ऑर्गेनिजम्स परफॉर्म कीमोऑटोट्रोपिज्म. दे कैन मेक देयर ओन फूड बाय द हेल्प ऑफ केमिकल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गी, दैट इज साइनोबैक्टीरिया. And the example of photoautotrophs are green plants and algae. The type of nutrition is heterotrophic mode of nutrition, or we can say heterotropism. Hetero means others and tropic means mode of nutrition. That means the mode of nutrition in which an organism obtained its food from the other organisms. That mode of nutrition is referred as heterotropism. ऐसा मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन जिसमें एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपना फूड खुद नहीं बना पाता और उसे अपने फूड के लिए किसी दूसरे ऑर्गेनिज्म की जरूरत पड़ती है, दैट मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन इज नोन एज हेटेरोट्रोपिक मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन और हेटेरोट्रोपिज्म. द ऑर्गेनिज्म व्हिच परफॉर्म, व्हिच एग्जिबिट दैट मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन आर नोन एज हेटेरोट्रॉफ्स. It is studied into further 3 subtypes. The first one is saprotropism, or we can say saprotropic mode of nutrition. In that term, the sapro means dead and decaying. The mode of nutrition in which an organism absorb or obtain its food from dead and decaying organic matter is known as saprotropism, or saprotropic mode of nutrition. ये हेटेरोट्रोपिज्म का ऐसा टाइप है जिसमें एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपना खाना खुद नहीं बना सकता और एक दूसरे डेड एंड डिकेइंग ऑर्गेनिक मैटर से अपना फूड एब्जॉर्ब करता है. That mode of nutrition is known as saprotropism. सेप्रोट्रॉप्स के बारे में हम एक अलग से चैप्टर में भी पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज रेफर्ड एज आवर एनवायरमेंट. द एग्जांपल ऑफ सेप्रोट्रॉप्स आर बैक्टीरिया एंड फंजाई. They are also referred as decomposers, as they decompose the organic material into the simple inorganic material. Second is parasitism, or we can say parasitic mode of nutrition. In that also, the organisms does not make or cannot make their own food, and for their nutritional requirements they depend on another organism. Then now the question arises, what is the difference between saprotropism and parasitism? The difference is, in this a living organism depends on the body of another living organism, whereas in saprotropism a living organism depends on the body of a dead and decaying organism. So the parasitism composed of two living organisms in which one depends on the body of another. In this mode of nutrition or in this mode of relationship, one organism is benefited and another organism is harmed. इस मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन में क्या होता है बच्चों, एक ऑर्गेनिज्म एक दूसरे ऑर्गेनिज्म से अपना फूड ऑब्टेन करता है. जो ऑर्गेनिज्म फूड ऑब्टेन कर रहा है वो भी लिविंग है और जिससे वो फूड ऑब्टेन कर रहा है वो भी लिविंग. सेप्रोट्रोपिज्म में एक को फायदा हो रहा है जो जिंदा है और दूसरा जो मर चुका है उसे ना कोई फायदा हो रहा ना कोई नुकसान, लेकिन इसमें एक को फायदा होता है और एक को नुकसान. The organism which is getting benefited in the parasitic mode of nutrition is referred as parasite. So benefit occurs to the parasite, and the organism which is harmed is host. So parasites either lives in the body or on the body of host. On this basis, the parasites are of two types, endoparasites and ectoparasites, that we must have studied in the class 9th. Which is important for your exam point of view, that is the example of plant parasite. You must have to learn it very carefully. And the example of plant parasite is kuskuta. In Hindi it is referred as amrbe. The example of animal parasites is tapeworm, ticks, leeches, etc. There are certain microorganisms as well which perform the parasitic mode of nutrition, like bacteria, few of them, like Plasmodium. It lives as a parasite inside the body of human beings. The third mode of nutrition is holozoic mode of nutrition. It is the third subtype of heterotropism. The mode of nutrition in which an organism depends on solid complex material, that is referred as holozoic mode of nutrition. This mode of nutrition comprises of microorganisms like amoeba to the multicellular complex organism like humans. तीसरा मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन है बच्चों होलोजोइक मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन. इस मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन में क्या होता है, एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अपनी न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट के लिए सॉलिड कॉम्प्लेक्स फूड को इंजेस्ट करता है अपनी बॉडी के अंदर. दैट टाइप ऑफ मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन इज नोन एज होलोजोइक मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन. इसके एग्जांपल्स में माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म से लेकर मल्टी सेलुलर कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्गेनिज्म लाइक ह्यूमंस तक भी आते हैं. नाउ विल स्टडी autotrophic mode of nutrition in detail. Carbon and energy requirement in the plants is fulfilled by the help of photosynthesis. जितनी भी एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट्स है प्लांट्स की वो फोटोसिंथेसिस के द्वारा फुलफिल की जाती है. Now the question is, what is photosynthesis? We have studied in the previous classes, in the very lower classes like in 5th and 6th, that what is photosynthesis? The formation or the preparation of food by the plants by taking carbon dioxide and water from the environment in the presence of sunlight to produce energy or food is referred as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is composed of two terms, photo and synthesis. Photo means light, as we discussed earlier as well, and synthesis means to form. That means to form food by the help of light energy, in the most simple language. But the true definition of photosynthesis is the formation of glucose, that is the food molecule, or we can say more appropriately organic molecule from inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, by the help of sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll of leaves is referred as photosynthesis. Along with the glucose, there is another byproduct is formed during this photosynthesis, and that byproduct is oxygen gas. Students, last to last year CBSE sample paper gave a question on that particular topic, that which part of photosynthesis will produce byproduct of photosynthesis, that is oxygen gas. Out of two raw materials, that is carbon dioxide and water, water is responsible for the release of oxygen gas. जो ऑक्सीजन गैस है बच्चों, जितने भी उसमें एटम्स हैं, जो ये मॉलिक्यूल है, that all came from water only. That's why we modified the previous equation of photosynthesis into this modified photosynthetic equation, and that is the equation of photosynthesis, the modern one, the modified one. The next is the requirement of photosynthesis. There are 4 requirements of photosynthesis. The first one is carbon dioxide and water, which are considered as the raw materials for photosynthesis. Third one is chlorophyll, which is present in the chloroplast of the leaves. We discussed it in the previous class, that is in the class 9th. The last one is sunlight, or we can say solar energy. Plants obtain carbon dioxide from the environment through tiny microscopic pores known as stomata. Plants absorb water from the soil by the help of roots. Chlorophyll is present already in their leaves or in their green stems known as shoots. Sunlight they obtain from sun, that is from the atmosphere. The following events occur during photosynthesis. The first one is absorption of light energy by the chlorophyll. As we all know, the plant leaves and green plants shoot also contain chloroplasts, which contain a green color pigment named as chlorophyll. Second step is conversion of light energy into chemical energy. That is, in the second step of photosynthesis, transformation of energy takes place. In this, photolysis of water takes place. What is photolysis? The splitting of water molecules to form hydrogen and oxygen is referred as photolysis. So in this process required a type of or a form of energy which they get in the form of light energy. And by the consumption of light energy, they are forming a chemical. That is why it is referred as light energy is converting to chemical energy in this step. In this, the water molecule is broken down into protons as well as oxygen gas along with the 4 electrons. Those protons are then absorbed by certain assimilatory powers present in the plant cells. Those assimilatory powers are FAD or NADP that you will study in your higher classes. The third step is reduction of carbon dioxide to form a carbohydrate. What is reduction? In your chemistry chapter, that is chemical reaction and equations, you will study reduction. That is addition of hydrogen to alchemical is referred as reduction. So here we can see that carbon dioxide is getting hydrogen from the assimilatory powers and forming a carbohydrate. So the third step is reduction of carbon dioxide to form a carbohydrate. And that is what the photosynthesis is all about. Formation of a carbohydrate from inorganic material like carbon dioxide and water is referred as photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight. So these are the 3 steps. You can leave these equations as well. But this is a very important question for your board exam. That what are the events occur during photosynthesis? Plants perform photosynthesis to form glucose. But as we all know, the day of the length is quite high, quite long. And for that whole time, they keep on synthesizing that carbohydrate. So the extra carbohydrate, that is glucose, is stored in the form of starch in plants. So, as we have studied in the previous class as well, that the reserved food in the plants is starch. So the carbohydrate which is stored in the plants is starch. तो बच्चों ये है 3 स्टेप्स जो हो रहे हैं फोटोसिंथेसिस के दौरान. पहला, एब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ लाइट एनर्जी बाय द क्लोरोफिल. क्लोरोफिल जो है वो लाइट एनर्जी को एब्जॉर्ब, एनर्जी को सोख लेता है और उसी लाइट एनर्जी की हेल्प से वाटर जो है वो टूटता है ऑक्सीजन गैस बनाने के लिए. ये उस क्वेश्चन का भी आंसर है जो हमने इससे पहले स्टडी किया था कि ऑक्सीजन गैस किस रॉ मटेरियल से प्रोड्यूस होती है, और वो रॉ मटेरियल था वाटर. थर्ड है बच्चों रिडक्शन ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड टू फॉर्म अ कार्बोहाइड्रेट. कार्बोहाइड्रेट एक ग्लूकोज मॉलिक्यूल है जो यहां बनता है. वो ग्लूकोज काफी लंबे समय तक बनता है, इसीलिए ग्लूकोज एक मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स मॉलिक्यूल फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, दैट इज नोन एज स्टार्च, जिसे हम प्लांट्स का रिजर्व फूड भी कहते हैं. Study how do plants get carbon dioxide gas. Plants absorb the carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere through tiny microscopic pores in their leaves known as stomata. We studied about the stomata in our previous classes. Stomata are present in a specialized layer named as mesophyll layer of leaves. This is the cross section of a leaf which is composed of an upper layer, a single cell thick layer which is referred as upper epidermis. Upper epidermis release a waxy substance which forms a layer named as cuticle. Cuticle is a waterproof layer. We studied about this layer in class 9th chapter tissue. Then there is a spongy layer present which is composed of chloroplast which has green color pigment named as chlorophyll. After that there is another layer which is single cell layer thick which is referred as lower epidermis, and this layer possesses kidney bean shaped cells known as guard cells which possess these tiny microscopic pores known as stomata. Stomatal apparatus is composed of kidney bean like guard cells which are covered by certain cells referred as epidermal cells. These guard cells possess a nucleus, chloroplast, in which photosynthesis takes place, and that pore in between those two guard cells is referred as stomata. The question arises how these stomata open and close. These guard cells have two types of layers. The outer layer, which is flexible one, and the inner layer, which is inflexible or rigid. When the water from the epidermal cell will goes into the guard cells, then there is a change in the turgor pressure of these cells. जब पानी एपिडर्मल सेल से इन गार्ड सेल्स में जाता है तो इन गार्ड सेल्स का टर्गर प्रेशर चेंज हो जाता है, एंड ड्यू टू दैट चेंज turgor pressure, these guard cells will exert pressure on the outer boundary. Due to those boundary pressure, those guard cells will open in that manner, and the water vapors through these pores will move away to the atmosphere. And during that process, the exchange of gases takes place. That is, during day, the oxygen gas will come out of these pores and carbon dioxide get absorbed, and during night, the oxygen gas is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released. So this is the whole process of opening and closing of stomata. In that opening and closing, there's an ion also which may be helpful for that, and that ion is potassium ion.